Hi, I'm Lindsey Samper, and today we're going to work on some really deep stretches for the hips, and we're going to get into inner thighs and outer thighs and glutes. And sometimes these areas can be really intense to stretch out. Most of us are tight here, but they feel so good when it's all over. So you'll feel like a new person at the end of this video. So we'll get started lying down on our backs. So go ahead, lie down. Keep your knees bent, feet to the floor. And you can rest your arms anywhere by your side or on your abdomen or your chest. And close your eyes down and take a really full deep breath in. Allow your ribs to expand, allow your belly to expand, and then exhale everything out. Do that 2 more times. Nice deep breath in and full breath out. One more just like that. Deep breath in and exhale out. Good. Then cross your right ankle on top of your left thigh. Flex your right foot and press your right leg away from you so that your knee is more in line with your right foot. Now, if this is enough of a stretch in your outer right hip, you can stay right here, or you can reach through, grab behind your left thigh or in front of your left shin, and start to pull both legs towards your body. It's really important that you keep both feet flexed. That'll help protect your knees. And if you find that it's really uncomfortable to be in this position, you can always place some pillows or towels underneath your upper body, and that'll bring you some ease here. And notice where your knee is. If your knee is really close to your body, focus on pressing it away from you. That'll open through your outer right hip a little bit more. And then find where you can find a little bit of ease. So even within the intensity of a stretch, where can you relax? Where can you find some gentleness and ease? Continue to breathe fully. Keep your mind focused on your breath. Take 2 more good deep breaths here. Maybe lengthening your exhales. And then slowly take your left foot down to the floor. Uncross your right foot, and let's do the second side. Cross your left ankle on top of your right thigh, flex through your left foot, and press your left leg away from your body. Stay here as long as you'd like, and when you're ready, you can reach through, grab behind your right thigh or on top of your right shin. Both feet are flexed. And again, really focus on pressing your left knee away from your face so that it's more in line with your left foot and ankle. And I want you to notice as we get into the hips, notice if your jaw starts to tighten. There's a lot of correlation between tightness in the hips and tightness in the jaw. And when we do deep hip work, we might clench our teeth together. So just make sure that you're aware of that and try your best to soften those areas. Take 2 more breaths here. Keep your jaw relaxed. Maybe separate your teeth. And then slowly release your right foot down, uncross your left leg, and then draw both knees in toward your chest. Give them a good squeeze, maybe rock a little bit from side to side. And then we'll roll all the way over to one side and make our way to tabletop position. So come onto all fours, hands and knees, and have your ankles about hip distance apart, hips over your knees, shoulders over your wrists. We'll come right on into downward facing dog. So walk your hands forward just a little bit, spread your fingers nice and wide, and then tuck your toes. And to get there, we're gonna sink our hips back towards the heels, kind of like you're getting ready for child's pose. And then press your feet into the ground, lift your hips up, downward facing dog. Press your chest and your belly back towards your thighs. Keep a bend in your knees. And you could separate your feet shoulders distance apart or even as wide as your mat. Tilt your tailbone up towards the ceiling. Press your hands down and towards the front of your mat. And then let your head and neck relax. Maybe shake it out, yes or no, and then just let it hang there. Good, and then bend your knees, look forward in between your hands, and take as many steps as you need to walk to the front of your mat. Come into a forward fold with bent knees. So bend your knees, belly to your thighs, release your head and neck. Take a nice deep breath in here. Exhale slowly out. Good, and take your hands to your hips. Squeeze your elbows together with a flat back. Come all the way up to standing. So we're going to do some standing cat-cows. So take your feet hip distance apart, bend your knees, take your hands to your thighs and turn your fingers in. So from here, we'll do our cat-cows. On your inhale, stick your tailbone out, drop your belly down towards the floor and lift your chest and your gaze up. On your exhale, curl your tailbone under, round your spine, draw your belly in, and drop your chin to your chest. And then flow in and out of that. Inhale, lift your tailbone, lift your chest. Exhale, curl your tailbone, round your spine. 2 more. Inhale and exhale. 1 more set. Inhale and exhale. Good. Come all the way to standing. Take your feet a little closer together. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, bend your knees, fold, belly to your thighs. Inhale, lengthen, press your hands into your shins, flatten your back, lift your chest, lift your gaze. On your exhale, step your right foot back. Take up a lot of space, so a nice, really long lunge here. Get rooted and grounded in your feet, and then slowly take your hands to your thighs. Come all the way up. Make sure you've got your balance, and then reach your arms up. Straighten through your back leg. Engage your right glute and activate your feet. So energetically pull your left foot to the back of the mat and pull your right foot to the front of the mat. Draw your belly in, draw your ribs back so they're not poking forward. Good, 1 more deep breath in, reach through your fingertips and exhale, hands to the ground, left foot steps back, plank pose. Really activate your legs here, draw your belly in, press the ground away from you with your hands, and then lower down to your knees. Lower all the way down to your belly. On your inhale, lift your chest, lift your shoulders. Activate your legs by pressing your feet into the ground. Squeeze your thighs. Squeeze your elbows toward your body. Good. Exhale, press up to table. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. From down dog, step your feet together. And then on your inhale, reach your right leg straight up and back, 3-legged down dog. And while you're reaching your right leg up, press your left heel down, straighten through your left leg, be strong through your left leg. And then take your right knee to your nose, hover in plank, and then step your right foot in between your hands. So if it doesn't make it there, use your hand and help it out. Again, get grounded and rooted in your feet. Take your time, come all the way up to a lunge. Same as before, pull your right foot back, left foot forward. Really be strong in your back leg. Squeeze your left thigh, squeeze your left glute. Draw your rib cage back. Draw your arm bones back behind your ears. Reach through your fingertips. Full deep inhale. Exhale, hands to the ground. Left foot meets the right, forward fold. Inhale to lengthen, press your hands into your shins, flatten your back. Exhale, bend your knees, fold. Inhale, rise, reach your arms up. And exhale, hands to your heart. Let's do the other side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen, press your hands into your shins. Exhale, fold and step your left foot back this time. Nice wide lunge. Make your way all the way up, reach your arms up and back. If you have trouble balancing here, you can always take your right foot to the right a little bit more and maybe find a spot on the ground to focus your gaze on. That'll help with your balance. 1 more full breath in. Exhale, reach your arms down, step back, plank pose. Pause here for a moment. Draw your belly in, press your heels back to the wall behind you, and then lower your knees down. Lower all the way down to your belly. Inhale, cobra, lift your chest, lift your shoulders, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Exhale, press back table. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Good, step your feet together here and then inhale, reach your left leg up, three-legged down dog. At the same time, press your right heel down and squeeze your right thigh, so be really strong in your standing leg. Good, then take your left knee to your nose, hover in plank, draw your belly in, and then stick your left foot in between your hands. Get grounded in your feet, and then come all the way up, high lunge. And stay focused on your breath. Just simply notice it. Don't forget about it. You don't have to change it at all, but it's your anchor. It's your anchor to your present moment. It's your anchor to your body. One more nice deep breath in. Reach your fingertips up. Exhale, hands to the ground. Right foot meets the left, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Good. Inhale, reach your arms back up again. Exhale, bend your knees, fold. This time, step your right foot back and take your back knee down to the ground. Let your hips sink forward, and on your inhale, reach your arms straight up. Anjaneyasana. Getting into our hip flexors here. And then we'll do a twist. Left arm back, right arm forward, thumbs face the ceiling. Really pull your left arm bone back, draw your belly in, reach through your fingertips. If this is enough for you, stay here. If you'd like a little bit more, reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. You can drop your left arm down by your side. For a little bit more, you could take your hand to the back of your right thigh. Really reach your right arm up and back. Let your hips sink forward. One more deep breath in. And on your exhale, take your hands back down. Tuck your back toes and lift your back knee. Keep your right hand on the ground and then reach your left arm up to the sky so you're opening your chest up to the left side. And just make sure you're not dropping your right hip down. Keep your right hip lifted so that your hips are even with each other. Draw your left shoulder down your back, away from your ear. Reach through your fingertips. Good, then take your left hand down. Step back, plank pose. And then this time we'll shift forward, lower halfway down, and then untuck the toes, upward facing dog. So the knees are lifted. Squeeze the thighs, press the ground away from you with your hands. Good, then tuck the toes again, lift the hips up high, downward facing dog. From here, step your feet together. Inhale, reach your right leg up. And then on your exhale, step it through in between your hands. Press your fingertips into the ground, lengthen your spine, look forward. On your exhale, left foot meets the right, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen, press your hands into your shins. Exhale to fold. Inhale, rise, reach your arms up, palms together. Exhale, hands to your heart. Other side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step your left foot back. Take your back knee down to the ground. Let your hips really sink forward and down here, and then reach your arms up. So if you notice your hips are really high, that might be fine for you. If you feel like you could go further, really start to sink your hips down, 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 down. Reach your arm bones back. And then we'll go for our twist. Left arm forward, right arm back. Thumbs face the ceiling. Really focus on bringing your right arm bone back a little bit more if you can. Draw your right shoulder blade down your back. Maybe your hips can sink a little bit further down. And then either stay here, reach your left arm up. You can allow your right arm to hang down by your side, or you can take your right hand to the back of your left thigh. Reach your left arm up and back. A little bit of a twist here. And then on your exhale, take your hands to the ground. Tuck your back toe and lift your back knee off of the floor. Keep your left hand where it is, and then reach your right arm up for a twist. Again, so a lot of times what happens is the left hip sinks down here. And when you'll feel that, so if you take your hand to right above your tailbone, you'll feel if it's even or not. So lift your left hip up, even with your right. Draw your right shoulder down away from your ear. Reach through your right fingertips. One more inhale. Exhale, take your hand down. Step back, plank pose. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower halfway. Untuck your toes, upward facing dog. Draw your belly in, make your legs strong. And then tuck your toes under, downward facing dog. From down dog, step your feet together. And then reach your left leg up towards the ceiling. And then step your left foot in between your hands. Press your hands down, lengthen your spine, lift your chest up. Inhale. Exhale, right foot meets the left, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen, straighten your spine, gaze forward. Exhale, bend your knees, fold. Inhale, rise, reach your arms up, palms together. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bow forward, forward fold. From here, step back into a plank pose, and then go straight back to downward facing dog. We'll do a little bit of a hip opener here. So from down dog, step your feet together, reach your right leg straight up and back. And then open your right hip up to the right side. Keep your right leg straight. So now you're just stacking your right hip on top of your left, then bend your right knee. You're trying to point your right knee up towards the ceiling. So press your left heel down to lift your right knee up a little bit higher. It's okay if your shoulders go with you in this twist. And then straighten your right leg, square your hips off, and then step your right foot in between your hands. Take your back heel to the ground and come all the way up, warrior one. So it's like a lunge, but your back heel is at a 45-degree angle. If that's uncomfortable for you, don't worry about it. Keep your back heel lifted like we've been doing. And then eagle arms. Take your right arm on top of your left, circle them around, and bring your palms together. If that isn't comfortable, just grab onto your shoulders. Bend your right knee, lift your elbows up away from your body, pull your hands away from your face, and press both arms into each other. Feel like a little bit of a back bend here. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Start to lift your chest up, gaze up. Take one more breath in, and then release your hands down to the ground. And then take your hands to the inside of your right foot. Let your left heel come up off of the floor. So you're in a lunge. This one's called lizard pose. So lots of options here. You can have your back knee lifted, or you can have your back knee down. You can have your fingertips on the ground to give you some more space. You could also use yoga blocks here, and that'll help give some space. Once you find a little bit more flexibility here, you can bring your palms down to the ground. After being here for a little while, if you feel like you could go further, you could start working on taking just the left elbow down. And then maybe eventually one day, take the right elbow down as well. So wherever you're at, notice if your right knee is opening out to the side. There's nothing inherently wrong with that, but for today, I want you to practice pressing your right knee toward your right shoulder. And another thing to look out for is make sure that your right knee is over your right ankle and not in front of it. So you may have to pull this right foot closer to the front of your mat. So we're getting a really deep stretch through the left hip flexors here and also through the right hip. Take one more breath, make sure your jaw is relaxed. It's a really intense pose. And then come up to your hands. Let your hands frame your right foot. Tuck your back toes, come into your lunge, and then begin to straighten through your right leg just a little bit and then bend it again. And just work in and out, bending and straightening your right leg to your degree. So your right leg may or may not straighten completely, and that's fine. It's always really nice to work dynamically like this before holding a really intense stretch. So take your time. And then we'll hold the right leg straight. So again, it may be straight, it may have a bend in the knee. I want you to work where you're at. Press your hands down into the ground, lift your chest up. It's really important here that your spine is not rounding forward and that you are lifting your chest and keeping your spine nice and neutral. So if that means you need to bend your knee to get there, make sure that you do that. So if you're like, this is my max, I want you to stay here. If you'd like to go a little bit further, step your left foot up a little bit, enough to where you can get your left heel down on the ground. And then keep your left hand somewhere on the ground to the inside of your right foot, and take your right hand to your right hip. And then press your left hand down and start to twist your body open to the right side. So in a nice twist here, you should feel a stretch through your outer right thigh. Good, and if you'd like more, you can reach your right arm straight up towards the ceiling. You're in revolved triangle pose. Draw your right shoulder blade down your back. Press your left hand down into the ground and spin your left bicep out. So as you spin your left arm away from your body, that'll bring your left shoulder in a nice stable position. One more inhale. And then on your exhale, bend your right knee, take your hands down to the ground, step back, downward facing dog. So you might want to pedal your feet out here, press one heel down, bend the opposite knee. Just pedal everything out. Good, and let's do the second side. So step your feet together, reach your left leg up and back. And then we'll open our hips. So keep your left leg straight, but stack your left hip on top of your right. Open your left hip up to the left side. Once you do that, bend your left knee. And then press your right heel down to lift your left knee up a little bit higher. And again, don't worry about your shoulders. It's fine if they swivel with your body. And then straighten your left leg, square off your hips, step your left foot in between your hands, and take your right heel down to the ground. Come all the way up, warrior one. Good, this time with eagle arms, left arm comes on top of right, circle them around, bring palm to palm, or maybe grab onto your thumb, or just grab onto your shoulders. Really sink low in your left knee, lift your elbows up, pull your hands out away from your face, and activate your arms by pressing both forearms into each other. Either stay here or start to lift your arms up towards the ceiling. Keep your hands pulling away from your face. Maybe even gaze up towards the ceiling. One more breath in. And then exhale, release. Hands to the ground. Take your hands to the inside of your left foot and lift your right heel up off the floor. So lizard pose on the other side. And whatever you did on the other side, do on this one. So that might mean the back leg is lifted. It might mean the back knee is down. And just take a moment. So if you were able to get to your elbows on the other side, take your time to get there. So just stay here for a moment. Allow your tissues to adjust to a new position. Maintain your breath, a nice steady breathing. And then when you're ready, if you're ready, and that might not be today, you might come down to your palms. You might even come down first to the right elbow. That's a little easier than trying to bring left elbow down. And you might stay there for today. And eventually you might try to take left elbow down as well. But as we get further and further down, the tendency is for the left hip to open and the left knee to open out to the side. So focus on really pressing. You have to activate your left leg, press your left knee towards your left shoulder. Maintain a steady breath. And again, you're in a lot of intensity here, so see where you can soften. Sometimes the only place that we can soften is in our breath or in our face. Everything else is just really intense, and that's fine. But just find where that softness is. Take 2 more breaths here. And then slowly make your way up. So straighten your arms. Let your hands frame your left foot. Tuck your back toes and lift your back knee. And we'll work again in straightening the left leg and bending it, and just working slowly into this. So don't worry about straightening to your full capacity just yet. Just work little by little. Each time you might get a little further than before. And then when you're ready, we'll hold. So you might have a generous bend in your knee, you might have a little bit of a bend in your knee, but instead of folding forward, make sure you're keeping your gaze lifted, your chest lifted. So press your hands down to lift your chest forward. That will help keep a neutral spine, which is really important here. Let your jaw relax. Let your breath be soft. Let your face be soft. Good, so if this is enough for you, stay here. Otherwise, bring your right foot in a little bit, just enough to bring the right heel down. Take your right hand to the ground, take your left hand to your left hip, and then start to twist. So press your right hand down in order to twist your torso to the left side. Stay here, and you can keep your left hand on your hip or you can reach your left arm up. So really focus on bringing left shoulder down away from your ear, and press your right hand down into the ground and spin your bicep out away from you. It'll help keep your shoulder in a nice position. Really reach through your left fingertips if they're up. One more breath in. And exhale, bend your left knee, take your left hand to the ground, make your way back into downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, reach your right leg up. Exhale, bring your right knee towards your right wrist. We're coming into pigeon pose. So similar to what we did on our backs. And if this isn't comfortable for you, you can come back onto your back and do what we opened with. So take your left leg and slide your left leg back behind you. The closer you have this right heel towards your body, the more ease that you'll have. Not that this is an easy pose. It's really not. And you can go ahead and come down to your forearms here. If that's too intense, you can keep your arms straight and have your palms flat on the ground. That's fine too. And since we're still, sometimes the mind starts to freak out and it goes all over the place because you're not moving anymore. You don't really have anything to focus on. So allow yourself to stay focused on your breath. That might mean counting your breath, or just simply noticing your inhales and your exhales. It could also mean lengthening, maybe lengthening the inhale, maybe lengthening just the exhale. Start to play with that and see the different effects that it has on your body. We won't be here for too much longer. Let's take 3 more nice conscious breaths right where you're at. Try to use your exhales to soften. And then slowly walk your hands up. We're gonna sit on our right hip and bring the left leg around. So Gomukhasana, you're gonna stack your left knee on top of your right, flex through both feet. Now, if this is just a lot, you can take your hands underneath your left knee and lift it up. So you're kind of like this, and that might be more than enough for your hips. If you need more, the closer your knees are together, the more intense the stretch. Also make sure you're not sitting on this right heel. So you might walk it away from your body, make sure both sit bones are on the floor. And just take a moment here sitting straight up and tall. And if you find I could go a little bit further, you can start to lean forward. Go slow though. You may start to walk your hands forward. But I don't want you to fold and round your spine. I want you to stay lifted and tall. And if you want to go further, you'll keep walking your hands closer towards the front of your mat and focus on pressing your belly towards your thighs first. And again, find find a nice edge, so don't go too far here. You're the only one who can know what's too far. And then slowly come back up. Take your hands around your left leg, help it out a little bit. We're gonna swing it around, come back onto hands and knees, our tabletop position, and make our way into downward facing dog. We'll do the second side. So from down dog, step your feet together, lift your left leg up towards the ceiling, and then bring your left knee towards your left wrist and slide on down. So really focus on sliding the right leg back. I kind of walk it back a little bit further. And notice if you're completely on your left hip, try to be more in the middle. If you need to adjust, bring your left foot a little bit closer towards your body, and then whenever you're ready, go ahead and come down to your forearms. You may find a lot of space here, and you could stack your hands and rest your forehead down. And again, just notice where your mind is at. Where are your thoughts going? And try not to get caught up in the thoughts and just simply be an observer, kind of standing away from everything, looking in. And if there's panic or distraction in your mind, then allow it to focus on something. Allow it to focus on your breath or a mantra. Gotta give it something to do instead of trying to force it to be quiet. So we'll take 3 more mindful breaths here. Allow your jaw to stay soft and relaxed. Use your exhales to release any tension you're holding on to. And then slowly make your way up. Sit on your left hip, swing your right leg around, and we'll do the same thing, Gomukhasana. So whichever variation, and one hip might be tighter than the other. So maybe you can get into it fully on one side, but not the other, and that's fine. So again, you can stack right knee on top of left, or you can let your hands rest underneath your right knee and lift it up a little bit. Keep both feet flexed. Make sure both sit bones are on the floor. Take just a minute here. So if you're really tight, keep your breath deep. When you have nice deep full breaths in, full breaths out, that helps to relax your tissues. It brings circulation and blood flow to your tissues. And it just calms your mind, which is always a good thing. And so again, if you'd like to go forward and get more of a stretch, you can start to lean your whole body forward. Just make sure you're not rounding. You might walk your hands in front of you, but keep your chest lifted and your gaze lifted. You might go just an inch or two and then stop for a little bit, or you might go all the way. So find your spot. Notice where you're feeling sensation. That helps to bring a lot of body awareness when you know what's going on where in my body. And then slowly walk your hands all the way back up. Take your hands underneath your right leg, help it out a little bit. And then just take the soles of your feet together, let your knees open up wide. Take your hands back behind you. It kind of undoes everything we just did. It's just a nice counter pose to what we just did. So stretch through the inner thighs, give the outer thighs a break. Good, and then scoop your hands on outer sides of your knees, bring them together. So find your way to a comfortable seated, and just let your hands rest in your lap. Close your eyes, sit up with a straight spine, and allow your belly to relax. Take a full breath in, and a full breath out. I hope you enjoyed these stretches today. I always feel so good after I do some deep hip opening, so I hope you do too. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to our Psychetruth channel. And if you'd like to learn more about me, you can check me out at lindseysamper.com. We'll see you in the next video. Namaste. You can find my full video library on Amazon, and it's free for Prime members. You can follow along with me from your TV, tablet, or the Amazon app on your phone, so you can join me for yoga class virtually anywhere.